Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Odyssey Rock, and I want to walk you through a design. It, this one's going to be pretty simple. I don't really have much of a plan doing this, so you'll kind of see the process as I go. So first thing we're going to do here is make a little stickman, kind of like the type you would see like on the bathroom logo or whatever. So here we go. First, I'm going to start with the torso. I'm just going to make a line here. I'm going to use a pen tool. You click once, hold down shift, click again. Then we're going to make this 100-point stroke. Make that a little bit longer. Here. I'm going to make another stroke across the top, and that's going to be the shoulders. About from here to here. And then we need to make this a bit narrower than the torso as far as the stroke goes. So we'll make this, let's try an 80-point stroke. I'm going to select both of these with the direct selection tool and then center. And that's up here in my alignment tools. I want to make sure I'm aligned to selection and not to the artboard or to key object. Align to selection, center. And I could actually make this a little wider if I want here. Make this one 15. I'm going to make the arms. I'm going to start down here, a little bit above the bottom of the torso to about here. I'm going to make this stroke. Let's see, let's try 60 points, see how that looks. That's pretty good. I'm going to use my direct selection tool here, which is this white arrow. I'm going to select this top anchor point. I'm going to do my best to line this up here. There's a little bit of a notch here, which is fine. We can come back to that later. I'm going to use my direct selection tool here, hold down Alt, and it would be Option on the Mac and Shift. And I'm just going to drag this over while holding those keys and duplicate. Now what I can do here is select this and select this while holding down Shift. Group them, which is Object Group or Control G, Command G on a Mac. And that's going to group this arm and that arm. So now when I select everything and center it, everything's perfectly spaced out. I'm going to ungroup that, which is Control Shift G or Command Shift G on a Mac. And I'm going to take this and drag it down here. We might need to make these narrower because these two legs are going to be too wide. Let me see. Yes. All right, so we're going to need to make these two things narrower. Let's try 45. Looks good. Move that in. Move that one in. Move it out a little bit. Group both of these. Select everything. Center. I'm going to ungroup those again. Copy it. Bring it down here. Again, we're going to make these as close to the edge as we can. This is, again, something we can fix later on. Not that concerned with it right now. I'm just doing the basic construction. Use my direct selection tool here. in here. Hold down shift and drag both of these up, make them a little bit shorter. You don't want the arms the same length as the legs, and we can make the legs slightly longer the same way, holding down shift. I'm going to take my ellipse tool, find the center with my smart guide, hold down Alt, and that's going to draw my ellipse from the center. Hold down shift, and that's going to constrain my ellipse. Make it about the size I think it should be. Make sure that I don't have a fill here. And then I'm going to swap the fill and the stroke. Move that up. Can make these legs a little meatier here. Make them, let's try them at 48 points. We'll move this in again. Again, close enough is close enough for now. And I think that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to select this whole guy. I'm not going to do anything with them yet. I'm going to hold down the Alt and Shift and drag this entire selection over to the side. And I'm going to start making my second figure who's going to be kicking. So I'll move this guy all the way over. Move his arms and legs. Don't need them quite yet. I'm going to grab his torso and shoulders. Rotate. So what you do there is you just use the selection tool. Select everything. And then mouse over towards this corner here by this anchor point. And then once you get right outside of this, your cursor will turn into a little right angle with two arrows. And once you do that, you can just click, drag, and rotate. Okay, and this is going to be his leg. I want to make sure I keep this leg parallel to where it's been, where it already was. So I'm going to move this leg. Then I'll move his torso to fit that. And that's just to make sure that both of these guys are standing on the same ground. So move this till I like where it's at. I'm going to take his other leg, rotate that. So he's kicking. I can get rid of his shoulders here. I think it'll work better for this kind of pose that I'm going to put him in. Move that arm. I'm going to add an anchor point here. Add anchor point tool. And give him a little elbow. I'm going to use the direct selection tool. Select that bottom anchor point. Give him a little bit of an action pose there. Take this arm, rotate. Move his head here. That's close enough. Alright, I think this guy's head needs to be a little bit closer here. I'm going to move him. All right, so let's get back to this guy and we'll straighten everything out. I'm going to select this stroke that we use for his shoulders. And we're going to go Object, Expand, Fill and Stroke. Okay, now that's going to turn this into a box, into a rectangle. And we're going to do the same for both of these shoulders. Object, Expand. Okay. Object, expand, fill and stroke, okay. Now I should be able to just align these. Here. Same thing here, we're going to turn this into a rectangle, expand, fill and stroke, object, expand, fill and stroke. Now I can use this, I can align this with this edge, should be able to. Alright, so now what I'm going to do here is use my selection tool, select everything. I'm going to go to my Pathfinder, you can find it here, Window, Pathfinder, and merge. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I need to make this into a rectangle, so I'm going to expand that. So now I can select all of these and merge them. And now they're one solid object. Once I do that, let me see. Ooh, I have a stray point where I wasn't quite aligned here. I can actually get rid of both of those. And that's just, I can use the subtract anchor point tool. And let's check on the other side, see if we have any. Yep, same thing. Doesn't matter, I can just subtract. Subtract that. Okay. Now I can select this here, and then there's this little circle with a dot in it. I can select both of these with the direct selection tool, and then just drag that in. Actually, I want to do both at the same time. Drag that in. Now I have rounded shoulders. Okay, we're going to select both of these on both. This is direct selection, so I'm just grabbing these two bottom anchor points and holding down shift and selecting these two. I'm going to do the same thing as round off those hands. I'm going to do the same thing with the legs. And we're going to do the same thing with this guy. So we're going to everything except this. Object, expand, fill and stroke. Okay. So now that's done. I can select all of this. Merge. Like we have this here. I can just select that and delete it. Here, I want to select this anchor point and delete it. Okay, so I'm going to select these two, just pull them all the way. Same here. Same thing here. Same thing here. All right, now we have our karate guy drawn, our regular Stickman drawn. Let's see. So now I can select all this, group it, select this guy, and group. Do that. I'm going to draw a line here, click, hold down shift. Let's see, I need to make this stroke. Let's go 14 points. Make a stroke here, move that in. Make sure these are centered. Here, I'm going to click on this, hold down Option and Shift, duplicate it, move it over here. I can make this one object. I can expand that. Okay. Then merge. So now this is one object here. I can move this here. I'm going to select all of these, group them real quick, and now let's see what I want to do here. Go to my align tools here, and we're going to align this to the artboard. So now we're centered on our artboard again. Here we're just going to go with Arial black. We're going to say 6 feet. Okay, I can ungroup these things here. Align these, center those. I'll move this back to where I think it looks good. Okay, we're going to stay with Arial black, and I'm going to type here, let's do all caps. I have my black belt in. I hold down Shift and scale that up. There, and we'll make this a little bit bigger. Just going to drag this down here. I'm going to change this to impact. Social distancing. We're going to scale this up. We're just going to align this with that. Not going to bother with the kerning right now. Just want to get this design done real quick. But normally I would definitely check the kerning and get everything looking as good as possible. Draw a guide here to make sure that we're lined up. Right. Move this down. Now we're going to add the word, the type on an arc here. So I'm going to use my ellipse tool. Find the center of the design, which that's not the center. It should be the center. Yep. Okay. I'm going to draw a circle here. I'm going to use my type on the path tool, and I'm going to click on this bottom anchor here. And then when I center it, it should move my words to the top. Let's go with Arial black again. And we're going to say back off. Oh, hit that center. Let's see how big we're going to need to make this. We'll try 100 to start. Okay, and then we're just going to hold Control Shift and the greater than bracket. Make that bigger, bigger, bigger. Okay. Now it's touching my character here, so I can just move this up a little bit. Okay, now what I'm going to do is select everything. I'm going to take the type and convert it to outlines. which is here. Create outline, Shift Control O. And now the last thing that I do if I'm going to use this to cut vinyl, like heat transfer vinyl with, is I will make a shape, any shape, and make sure that there's no stroke and no fill. And I'll go to select, same, fill and stroke, just to make sure that I don't have any stray invisible cut lines. And there's none there, so I can just hit the delete. And now this design is ready to go to my vinyl cutter. I could print it from my Epson and do a sublimation print. I can take it into Photoshop and change the colors. But this is pretty much a design from beginning to end. And that's about it. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you in the next one. And keep on designing. Thank you.